Okay, you're all stars tonight. You know that, right? Anybody feel like singing? Well, I might need a little help on this because I forget the words sometimes. I've only been singing it for about 16 years. They fall for you at first sight. You know their business, you think it's a bore. They make you restless, that's nothing you ain't seen before. Time on the run, you never letting down, said you do it for fun. Well, the best play, but you make quite a few, you give it all away. You give attention, you never say no. Throw your affections any way the wind blows. You always make it you're on top of the scene. You seal the copy like the cover of a magazine. You do to yourself. The things that they see make the daily reviews you never get free. Everybody wants you. Everybody knows you. Everybody snows you. Everybody needs you. Everybody bleeds you. Confusion and impossible dreams. Days at the mirror, you're patching up around the seams. You got your glory, you pay for it all. You take your pitching in loneliness and alcohol. You can't escape the hours, you lose track of the days. The more you understand is the more like you do. You never get away. Everybody wants you. Everybody Thank you. Always sounds better in Detroit, I'll tell you. That's the truth. A lot of you are probably wondering what this little one-man show is about. I didn't forget the band. This is actually a conscious decision that I made when I was deciding to get back into music. I've always felt that with all due respect to the great bands and the players that I've had with me, that the most important elements of my work to me have always been my voice, my guitar playing, and my songwriting. And I thought, well, why not try to make a record, strip everything away, and try to make a record that would, really force me to make those things really come front and center, really try to hone those talents and see where it might lead me. And I also felt compelled, I want to make what I considered an honest record. I always strive for honesty in terms of my emotion, the emotion I put in my songs. But I feel like a lot of people make records today who don't know a lot about making music. And I've grown up with a great respect and reverence for musicians, and I like to feel that I can walk, in the company of those people. So I wanted to make a record that kind of, stood its ground on that front too. Thanks. More than words can say, the sweetest song that I can play. More than words can say, I love you now. More than you may know, for the simple ways I try to show you. More than words can say, I love you now. They can take you where they want. Will they bring you back? They can give you what they want. They can give you everything. Walking down the road, far away from home, many miles to go, but it's alright. So much work to do for my days through. But when I think of you, my spirits fly. They can hurt you if they won't. How are you to know? Desert you when you need the most. I will be there constantly. More than words can say. I'm the sweetest song that I can play. More than words can say. But if I can't reach you now, what am I to do? If I can't reach you now, I will reach out constantly. More than words can say. The sweetest song that I can play. More than words can say. Try hard though I may. More than words can say. More without repay. Some of you might also be wondering what I've been doing or why it took me so long to make a record. Yes, I admit it, I haven't done one for a while. But I felt about 5 years ago, I started feeling like my love of music was getting overshadowed by a growing, I guess, disenchantment with the business of making music. I felt that it seemed that people were more interested in how much money they could make off of artists than what the artist had to say. And coming from the standpoint of an artist, that you feel pretty devalued when your work gets equated like that. So I just took, I walked away from it for a while until, I realized, of course, I've grown up with music. It's been pretty much my life, and it's been very dear to me. And I did miss it in spite of my, pretending that I didn't need it anymore. I finally realized that the idea of making music or making art has nothing to do with business. That if you're an artist, and for any of you who have any sort of dream or vision, your responsibility is to hold to that and to do everything you can to get that out and forget about the business. I mean, that kind of hopefully takes care of itself. But an artist has a responsibility first and foremost to what he or she is able to give of herself. So when I got that straight in my head, then I was able to go back and write the collection of songs and make up this record. The song I'd like to do now is from that, and it's actually an homage to what it is to be an artist and to some of the artists who influenced me to get back to where I belong. It's called Grasping for Oblivion. Says I'm the unloved prophet, found in dignity, for grace in everyone. He backed his reverence and his pains and went where no one else had gone. Such a lone, strong man was he, solitary vision, dying to break free. When you call to the hero where you fall, you're the reason why I can get on, yeah. You're the reason why I run, you're the reason why I come. I will be forever grasping your oblivion. Picasso in his world ruled over everything. There was no other way. How else could he face the dawns of history and brush them all away? Such a potent man was he, scandalized by nothing, perhaps what all that he could see. But when you call, see the hero where you fall. You're the reason why I can get on. You're the reason why I run. You're the reason why I come. I will be forever grasping your oblivion. finds himself as part of something more. And even then he stops to ask himself what it is he came here for. With such a wandering soul as me, I'm sure of barely nothing except for my uncertainty. But I hear the voices when you call, see the hero where you fall. You're the reason why I can't get off. You're the reason why I run. You're the reason why I come. Yes, you are. People ask me sometimes about inspiration. You know, where do you get the ideas for your songs? And I think it's pretty fair to say that any artist, you know, whether consciously or unconsciously, or whatever mix there is of those two, relies a lot on personal experience. Because I think it's only through personal experience that you really get your passions and your emotions in the proper place to, you know, so that you can do powerful work. It's not to say that, you know, my songs, I don't try to make my songs purely autobiographical. You can edit that for the radio. I feel that would be restrictive, you know, if I try to make the songs just my life, and, you know, you have to buy into that. But certainly a lot of the inspiration does come from there. And those of you who are familiar with my earlier work probably are also aware that I don't write a lot of happy songs, do I? Well, the other night I challenged someone to name one, and then we got someone named three, so I'm not going to do that little game tonight. But you know what I'm saying. I think I know why I don't write a lot of happy songs. That's because doesn't mean that I'm not happy. I have infrequent bouts of happiness, and I feel like when I'm happy, I don't sit around to analyze it. I tend to feel like I'm gonna go with this as long as I can, because it's going to change soon enough, right? So I end up focusing more on, I guess, unresolved questions, unsolved matters. You know, I think I've come to realize that, you know, life isn't just a struggle for me. It's a struggle for everybody, and in our own way. We've all got our disappointments, our disillusionments, you know, things that we have to deal with. And what I found about writing is that, you know, the best way to heal a situation is to deal with it. And for me, when I'm writing a song, I'm dealing with it. So it comes in pretty handy, you see. There was a time when I could forgive you and laugh at those sad games we'd play. I always thought that you were the strong one and you'd break the walls down one day. Follow the circle, you come round again. Stand on my doorstep, but I can't let you in. But it's a long, long way to fall. Don't pull me down. You took a wrong turn after all, but I won't be there. Knowing what I know, showing what doesn't show. Knowing what I know, that I don't believe. I didn't lie when I said that I loved you, but you couldn't hope to believe. You can't come home and claim what you squandered. I barely got room for my grief. Heart of a mine shaft, the sun never shines. Lost in a minefield, you might as well be blind. But it's a long, long way to fall. I won't go down. You took a wrong train after all. I won't be there. Knowing what I know, knowing I got to go, knowing what I know, but I don't believe, and I can't conceive. No, I just can't see you no more. I didn't get a great deal of, shall we say, higher education in my life, and that's because I was pretty fortunate early on to realize that I wanted to be a musician. And when I started out, my first love was guitar playing, and when it came time to be looking at college selections and things, you know, I figured out that there probably wasn't any place I was going to be able to go that could teach me to play guitar like Eric Clapton. So that was kind of that was the end of my education at that point. But after time has gone by and I've you know, lived a little more and been able to examine my life, I realized that there's been a lot of gaps in my knowledge, and I thought that there was a lot perhaps that I could learn that might inform both my personal life and my artistic life. So living in New York City gave me the opportunity to go back and sort
sort of explore some of these areas that I hadn't looked into before. And in fact, couple songs back, that song with a catchy title, "Grasping for Oblivion." If any of you know what that means, you can let me know. That was actually the product of an art course which I took, and I can honestly say that had I not read the letters of Paul Cézanne, a great French artist, and understood what art meant to him, I might not be here today, here, playing these songs which I've written. So I think that, that course was certainly a couple $100 well spent. And another one of my forays into this field took me to a fairly wild dissertation which was written by an Italian poet named Dante Alighieri back in the 1300s. Long story short, based on probably the power of love and the divisiveness of sin. Does that sound familiar? I mean, I think that, the point being that a lot of these themes are relevant through time, and so this next song is called Inferno, and it's my take on Dante's work of the same name. Reach down in my heart where my feet trod on emptiness wherever I go. The good man will fall and the sinner may rise above. But one destiny we all will know. Everybody cries sometimes. Everybody hurts so bad. Tell me about your hard times, baby. Through that. Tames me beast who would do me harm. Sought a wise man to lead me to. Put my strength on a woman's arm. An ancient glory won't see you through. Fortune's wheel spins round. Here in my world, I'm neither up nor down. Every virtue is sin, set to rupture and doubt. Makes it easy to sacrifice the God you know. There's no comfort within, only pleasure without. As you realize there's one more circle yet to go. Everybody cries sometimes. Everybody's got their cross to bear. Spit up all your hard luck, baby. Life can treat you so unfair. Catch you when you're not aware. lose your morals or loyalty. Humanity's your own damn fault. No, it's not what we choose to be. Lack of hope breeds desire. You sacrifice everything to satisfy the urge to know that you're guilty of love or a penchant to falsify. We don't know where we don't want to go. Everybody cries sometimes. Everybody moves so bad. Tell me about your hard times, baby. I already tried all that. Everybody, one time, gonna feel so sad. Every night I drink, my darling. Heaven knows I stand you there. Everybody, one time, gonna feel so sad. Everybody, one time, Lord knows I drink too there. Okay. Let's see, what have we forgotten? When you reach a point where you've had some success, you know, which fortunately I have in this field, you wake up one day and you realize that there are a few songs that you've done that you are never going to get away from doing. This isn't a bad thing by any means, although I have to say sometimes it's frustrating because I feel like, you know, a handful of songs that I've done have obscured all the other songs that I've done. And since, you know, I take all my songs real personally, I sometimes wish that, you know, a few of them got a little more airtime. But at the same time, you know, these few songs, of course, you know, they're very important because they make all the other songs possible. So what I've realized is that rather than try to get away from these songs, I mean, the key is to try to find a way to make them new again, I think. And someone who was much wiser than me was talking to me about relationships this way. And I said, like, you know, the key to a good relationship is to make it new. You know, I mean, I'm sure, you know, we have these times when we are fed up with whoever we're with and, you know, we just as soon take a walk or, you know, show them the door or whatever, right? But, you know, what good does that do? So, you know, the idea of trying to put in a little time and to make the experience new and revive it seems to be worthwhile, and it's certainly been a better approach for me in terms of dealing with these lovable albatrosses of mine. Anybody know where we're going with this? I wouldn't want to keep you in the dark any longer. So. Everybody, have you heard? If you're in the game, strokes the word. stroke-ette say, stroke me, stroke me. Could be a winner, boy, move quite well. Stroke me, stroke me. Say you're a winner, man, you just sit it down. Put your left foot out. Keep it all in place. Work your way right into my face. But you try to bet me, make my backbone slide. When you finally bet me, just skip on by. Stroke me, stroke me. Give me the business all night long. Stroke me, stroke me. Say you're a winner, say you're a winner, say you're a winner, man, you just sit it down. But listen now, it ain't no joke. Let your conscience fail ya, just do the stroke. Don't you take no chances. You keep your eye on top. Do your fancy dances. You can't stop. Stroke me, baby. Stroke me all night long. Stroke me, baby. Like my back ain't got a bone. Give me the business you do quite well. Say you're a winner. Say you're a winner, yeah. Say you're a winner, man, you just sit it down. Thank you. First, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I especially want to thank my friends at the Riff, who've always been incredibly gracious to me here in this town, and you know they're bringing this out to the streets of Detroit, which it means a lot to me. So thank you, Arthur. Riff, thank you all for coming. I will be here, and if you want to stick around, you know, chat, whatever, we'll figure it out. Thanks again.
Tried to get out of your way a little there.